The historical background of DRC, to support this Democratic Republic of Congo, and subscribe, the richest county at the time, has become the poorest country in the world. The country is located in Central Africa. The country has 40 kilometers coastline on the Atlantic Ocean but is otherwise landlocked. It is the second largest country on the continent with the land area of 2.345 million square kilometers. Only Algeria is larger and a population of around 112 million. The capital city is Kinshasa, is located on the Congo River about 320 miles, 515. From its mouth, the largest city in Central Africa, it serves as the country's official administrative, economic, and cultural center. The country is often referred to by its acronym, the DRC, or called Congo-Kinshasa, with the capital added parenthetically to distinguish it from the other Congo Republic, which is officially called the Republic of the Congo and is often referred to as Congo-Brazzaville. Congo gained independence from Belgium in 1960. From 1971 to 1997 the country was officially the Republic of Zaire, a change made by then-ruler Gen Mobutu Sese Seko to give the county what he thought was a more authentic African name. Zaire is a variation of a term meaning Great River. In local African languages, like the country's current name, it refers to the Congo River, which drains a large basin that lies mostly in the republic. Unlike Zaire, the name Congo has origins in the colonial period, when Europeans identified the river with the Kingdom of the Congo people, who live near its mouth. Following the overthrow of Mobutu in 1997, the country's name prior to 1971, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, was reinstated. Congo subsequently was plunged into a devastating civil war. The conflict officially ended in 2003, although fighting continued in the eastern part of the county. Congo, yes of course, is rich in natural resources. It boasts vast deposit of industrial diamonds, cobalt, and copper, one of the largest forest reserves in Africa, and also hydroelectric potential of the continent. DRC is bounded to the north by the Central African Republic and South Sudan, to the east by Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania, to the southeast by Zambia, and to the southwest by Angola. To the west are the country's short Atlantic coastline, the Angolan exclave of Cabinda, and Congo-Brazzaville. Congo also has the most important lakes, Mindam and Tumbo. The major tributaries are the Lomami, Aruwimi, and Ubangi rivers and those of the Great Kasai River system. Talking about ethnic group, Congo has more than 200 African ethnic groups live in Congo. Bantu people constitute a large majority of the country's population. They came in Congo between the 10th and the 14th century from the west and north and established kingdoms that were flourishing at the time when European came in 16th century. The major kingdom were the Kingdom of the Congo, Tik, Luba, Pend, Yaka, Lunda, Sanj, and Kuba people. There are other non-Bantu African populations, Adamo Ubangi and Central Sudanic groups that settled in the north include the Zonda, the Mangbadu, the Banda, and the Baramba. Nilotic people live in the northeast, and the Alur, the Kekwa, the Bari, the Lugbara, Logo and Tutsi, who historically lived in the eastern lake region. After partition of Africa in 1885, Berlin Conference to divide Africa and arbitrarily draw up borders that took a part of land from what was known by the name of the Kingdom of Rwanda at that time. That is why you cannot say go home where, that's with government of Congo must treat equally all the people of Congo. Let us see what Nyerere said about this problem.
The borders of Africa are very artificial. Most African states are not natural entities. Like Tanganyika, they're a collection of tribes, and the borders don't make sense. Some of the borders are a straight line. Our former rulers took a straight line and argued where, say put it there, but move it back there, and they moved and moved. Those are the kind of borders we have. And they cut tribes in between. So in Tanzania, for instance, 60% of the Maasai, you have heard of the Maasai, 60% of the Maasai are in Tanzania, 40% are in Kenya. Our southern border, the majority of the Makonde are in Mozambique. But we have a large part of the Makonde in Tanzania. At present, we have on the border with Rwanda, we have 600,000 refugees or 650,000 refugees from Rwanda, but actually they're among their own people. They've just crossed that invisible border there, and they are living with their own people on the other side of the border. And some of us felt, and I felt particularly, that those borders, although they're stupid, we must keep them. We must not try and play about with them and say disentangle them. Disentangling those borders would be a mess. Africa could just go into flame if we tried. So I moved that resolution in Cairo, 1964. Please respect the borders which we inherit from colonialism. And that provision has been accepted ever since. It's questioned by very few. But although we have respected that declaration, and we have also respected the Charter, non-interference, we have actually ignored the fact that it's no use respecting the borders without respecting the people who are within those borders. We have paid scant respect to what happens to our own people within the countries in those borders. So sometimes we expel them, and recently in Zaire, now I'm going to talk to Zaire about Zaire. Zaire, I'm told, passed some law which said the so-called Banyamulenge are not Zaire citizens anymore. This was a change. That first, at independence, they were regarded as, I think they were regarded as citizens. And then later, a new law was passed which denationalized them. The Banyamulenge are not immigrants to Zaire. They're not. The kingdom of Rwanda was partitioned between the Germans and the Belgians. And the Belgians took a part of the kingdom of Rwanda, the traditional kingdom of Rwanda, with the people. So when we say respect that border, which was agreed between the Germans and the Belgians, we must also be saying respect the people whom you received under that partition. You can't turn around and say, we no longer want you. You are no longer citizens of our country. What are you going to do? Are you going to return them alone, or you return them with the piece of land? You can't say go home. Home where? We couldn't in Tanzania get fed up with the Maasai and say the Maasai go home to Kenya. Kenya is not their home. These are Maasai of Tanzania. And my friend Moi can't, for some reason or other, get fed up with the Maasai of Kenya and say go back to Tanzania. That it's not back to Tanzania. They've never been in Tanzania. They've always been.
The country also has more than 200 languages. Communication between groups has been facilitated by 4 national languages: Swahili, Chiluba, Lingala, and Congo. French is the official language and the language of instruction, business, administration, and international communications. The 4 national languages are used in regional commerce and on the radio. The use of Lingala was growing rapidly. Under Mobutu it was the official language of the military, and it is widely spoken in Kinshasa, where it was used in popular music. Congo religion, as other many Africans at that time, believed in a supreme being, the power of the ancestors and spirits of nature. There is also Christian population, Protestants, and Islam. DRC has some trading and administrative center such as Banana, Vivi, and Boma, date from the arrival of the Europeans in the 16th century. Most towns, however, are of more recent origin. Kinshasa, until 1966 called Leopoldville, is the official seat of national political, administrative, and judiciary. Institutions. AMD is also an important commercial and industrial center. It is a center of music, fashion, and popular culture as well. While there are other major cities, all are administrative or commercial centers, with the exception of Likasi, which is mainly an industrial and mining town. Kananga is the capital of Kasai Province. Lubumbashi, formerly Elizabethville, the administrative headquarters of Katanga, is the heavily industrialized capital of the country's copper mining zone. Mbujimai is the capital of Kasai Oriental. It's a Congo's diamond center. Kisangani, the terminal point of navigation on the Congo River from Kinshasa, is the capital. Oriental Province. Bukavu, the headquarters of Sud Kivu Province, is a major tourist center. Kikwit, the former capital of Bandundu Province, is the terminal port on the Kwilu River. Matadi, the capital of Bakongo, is the country's main port. Mbandaka is a river port and the capital of Equateur Province. All these towns developed during the colonial period. When there were separate sectors for Europeans and Africans, European neighborhoods were characterized by big houses with large yards. Wide paved streets and adequate electricity, while Africans' areas were crowded with smaller houses and yards and poor, if any, electric supply. These contrasts are still characteristic of the cities. The country's main economic resources are its mineral deposits. Mining produces almost 9/10 of total exports. The abundance of minerals in Katanga Province was among those factors that attracted European powers to Congo in the 19th century. Minerals found in Katanga include copper, cobalt, zinc, cassiterite, the chief source of metallic tin, manganese, coal, silver, cadmium, germanium, a brittle element used as a semiconductor, palladium, uranium, and platinum. The region west of Lake Kivu contains cassiterite, Colombo tantalite, wolframite, a source of tungsten, beryl, gold, and monazite, a phosphate of the cerium metals, and thorium. Lake Kivu also harbors vast reserves of methane, carbon, and nitrogen natural gases. There are deposits of iron ore and gem-quality diamonds in south-central Congo, while the central regions are rich in industrial diamonds. In the northeast there are gold, coal, and iron ore deposits. There are prospective deposits of gold, monazite, and diamonds in the northwestern regions as well. Coastal Congo contains bauxite, gold, and offshore deposits of petroleum. The limestone deposits that occur throughout the country are considered to be among the richest in Africa. Besides its vast minerals, natural gases, wealth, petroleum deposits, and other natural items, Congo faces significant challenges in socio-economic development due to high poverty levels, political corruption, limited economic opportunities, and ongoing conflict. All contribute to the persistent poverty in the country. Despite this wealth of resources, the DRC is the poorest country in the entire world in terms of personal income. So how is that a country so rich in resources is so poor? Aside from being one of the poorest, it is also one of the most violent countries on earth. The country ranked 179th of the 189th countries 0 and the 2019 Human Development Index, and they now have the second largest hunger crisis in the world after Yemen. Of the estimated 100 million inhabitants, most people live below the poverty line, having less than $1.60 a day to spend in general essential public services are minimal. 43% of children are malnourished. And only 23% of rural area have access to drinking water, even if the country's eastern region remains troubled with violence among armed groups. Land disputes. Sexual violence and intercommunity conflicts contributing to humanitarian crises nationwide. Around 5 million people have fled their home and lost their livelihoods. Furthermore, it is common for presidents to allocate wealth for themselves and forgot his people, contributing to economic mismanagement, ethnic division, infrastructure decay, and rising poverty. On my view, there are so many things that can be done in order to solve problems of Congo. 1. Congo must put its effort in building strong infrastructure such as loads, electricity, hospitals, water supply, schools, railways, etc. Second, the main problem in the Congo is the Congolese state itself, especially its armed forces. The DRC government lacks control over large parts of its territory. The government must ensure enough security and protection of its population. Here the government also must stop all kinds of violence, killings of innocent people, and discrimination among its people. Third, the government must have full access to its wealth, share equally the income that comes from minerals to all Congolese, and control all its mining sectors so that it can be able to stop all illegal mining. For all who are watching us, if you have more than what we have said, share with us in our comments section below. Remember to support this channel by sharing this video and subscribe. Thank you.